All right, everybody, welcome to episode number 3 of my guest, Cody Nance. Cody, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me on here, Nelson.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for picking up when I actually come on. I really do appreciate it for being the third one.
Yeah, so how's it been going? You been staying warm up there?
Trying to. A couple
Yeah.
weeks, couple weeks ago, we had a pretty good snowstorm up here. So
Wow. How many feet did you get? Or
I'd
up
say like
or feet?
I'd say like let's just say it would have been enough to cancel school in a normal year.
Oh,
All
we
right.
don't usually get that much snow. This year we haven't really gotten any. We've only gotten a little bit of a flurry. That's all. We don't
All
even.
right. All right. So before we get too far in, why don't we give the listeners a little bit to know about yourself?
Well, I'm 33. Uh, been riding bulls for 18 years professionally. I bought my permit for the PBR when I was 18. Made it on the Elite Tour in 2009. From '06 to '09, I was trying. Got hurt and had a couple little setbacks, and financially wasn't able to growing up. And I just learned how to work really hard and never give up. And I'm thankful it worked out because I got a job hanging guardrail, and little did I know that that would be what financially set me up to be able to accomplish my dream of making it on the Built for Tough series, which is now the UTB, which most people that's a strange transition there to go from Built for Tough for so many years to UTB Unleash the Beast Tour.
Hasn't there been like 3 different name changes in the organization?
Yeah, in the beginning, I think it was Bud Light Cup.
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember hearing JB when he did the podcast with Flint. He was saying when it was, or I think it was Flint that said when it was the Bud Light Cup, there was just tubs of beer all around the locker room.
yeah, used to they would have that beer all in the locker room, and then they cut that out. But them guys, I think, had a bunch of liquid courage back in the day. um, Now, one time they did that in Detroit. We rode at the Detroit Lions Stadium, and it was ridiculous. Them, it was a bunch of young guys in there, and it smelled like a brewery when I got off my bull. The whole place was just exploded with beer, and I was like, "What the heck happened in here?" And they're like, "Oh, everybody just went nuts after they either got bucked off or were done riding, and they just came in there, started shotgunning beers and carrying on." Yeah, that was the last time.
I just that would be something that is worth seeing, but also not worth seeing at the same time.
Yeah.
I I can't imagine walking into a locker room when it was 2012 when there was Bonner, Bolton, Chase, Outlaw, JB, all, and, and you like when it's those guys and you all in the same tour. I can't imagine what that was like.
Well, we're just like everybody else. We except we put our pants on one leg at a time, hopping around on one foot, trying to find something to grab hold of, like every other old man.
And so you did bring that up, like you're just like everybody else. Like for people that think you guys are just these like at like humans like superhumans, you guys are probably in my opinion the most humble athletes in sports, flat out.
Well, it's a lot to do with the heritage, I believe, the Western lifestyle. Um, Most of us were raised, with a stiff hand and to be respectful. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And treat people, with respect. I feel like today's society doesn't push that as much. Um, Probably one reason why we got, as in the Western lifestyle, is why we got taught more. I feel like if both parents are working a full time job or say 2 jobs, you know what I'm saying, you don't get that quality time. I think at home, and and you don't get that much attention, so it's kind of hard whenever a kid's raising themselves halfway and then they're going to school and they're learning bad habits from all their friends and stuff like that. So I was taught at a very, very young age to be very respectful, and I didn't have a choice. Otherwise, I'd have got my butt spanked. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, butt whooping go a long way when you're a little boy, and it definitely wasn't in my nature to be real smart mouthed anyway. I just, I really just had a lot more respect for people than, and I seen what it looked like for other kids to be disrespectful, and I never encouraged that. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
but we could spend a lot of time, together as a family growing up doing like laborious work. That's the time that we got to spend together as a majority. Putting up hay, working the horses, feeding everything. My dad was a horseshoer, so we was out shooting horses and just that life. I think that quality of life teaches you, humility in itself.
I mean, yeah, like I just appreciate that about you and everybody else in the sport so much because I remember back last year in December when I had asked you about making an edit for you. You're one of the first people I ever did make one for, and I'm still thankful for that ever since. So,
Yeah, well, it's just like you doing what you love. It's yeah, every opportunity, you got to be thankful for it and make the most of it. So that's what we try to do, and that's the only way a person can make it in this world.
all right. So before we get started on here, we're kind of talking about your event, the Cody Nance Invitational in Jackson, Tennessee. Um, so how's that going to go? And like, kind of give the listeners like when it is, how that event's going to go, and all that.
Well, we got a Friday and Saturday event going to take place. It's January 22nd and 23rd. I've put together a line of bull riders. It's going to be 25 guys riding each night, and they're each riding for there'll be 5,000 for prize money each night. So buckle, Yeti cooler, and some good stuff. So the bullfighters. I don't know if you've heard of Ultimate Bullfighters. Now, have you heard of that? The new one? It's
Yeah, yeah,
sanctioned. Going to be a sanctioned event. The Ultimate Bullfighters and Sling and Shanks is making some nice trophy knives for the guys, and they're going to be fighting up some of those Mexican bulls, and they're juiced up, ready to go. And them bulls they're coming out of Louisiana, I guess, the Mexican fighting bulls, and they're the same ones that were there last year. They were juicy. There was this one guy, he got through completely out of the pen, and then he jumps over and goes back in and goes back to fighting him. He ends up winning the show in the bullfights, but that'll be good watching. And then we got some mutton busting. And if you're not familiar with that, that's our little wool warriors, little cowboys and cowgirls that like to ride the sheep. And so we put them on there, and they get to test their day. And that's going to be a little different just because we had so many kids wanting to ride sheep. So I was like, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do a separate event. We'll get a little bouncy house. We'll section off the arena where kids can have the one whole side to ride the sheep, put the bouncy house on the other side. They can run around playing the dirt, have face paint, and, the balloons and cotton candy and popcorn, all the fun stuff. And yeah, we'll just have a little separate event for kids to be able to come out and enjoy that. We'll bring down our little special guest, Deets man. He's our mini bull, and we got a little mini horse now with him and the goat. So he's got his buddies going to be there, Elvis and Dot and Deets, and so the kids can feed them out of their hand and pet on them. They're gentle as bees. Lots of fun stuff.
that sounds awesome. I just love like whenever like you guys are put on events, it's just like feels like it's something that's just not like the PBR, but still as rank as the PBR. It's just more laid back, and I really love that atmosphere.
Well, we love that atmosphere too. We don't get to enjoy it near as much as we like, because the PBR, like you said, it's a really jacked up environment. When you go there, it's packed, like action
Hmm.
packed. So, what'd you think
All right,
about
so
New York? Didn't you? That was yeah. What'd you
yeah,
think
yeah,
about
back
that
in
one? Yeah,
I
me too.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The one thing was though, I was like, it was so weird that with the rules in Madison Square Garden that they allowed smoke in the stands. Like that was something different.
They allow people to smoke in there.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
like that's just so weird.
Yeah, that's
Like
strange.
that's just something that's so weird.
Huh.
Um, but yeah, that was awesome. And actually, this November, my dad actually let me go to the World Finals this year,
Oh, you went to the World
and
Finals?
that was awesome. Um, so back to the topic about your event. What kind of what do you think that shows us appreciation, kind of like from your community for allowing you to put on this event for the third time
What is it now?
third time in 3 seasons.
Sorry, say
So
it again.
hmm speaking of your event, what kind of appreciation do you think that shows from your community for
Oh,
allowing you to put this on for the past 3 years?
well, I feel like it shows a lot of appreciation. I love to bring a sport that somebody, or an event that somebody can enjoy, and it's good, clean family fun. That's my thing. Is and something that is good quality, not just some backyards redneck stuff. We want anything worth doing is worth doing right, and so we want to produce a good event that people want to come back and enjoy. And so far, we're able to produce that, and we've just really been excited. The first year we tried it in October and it was a fail. We had a lot of things up against us, and then this year in January we were so blessed. We had it right before COVID hit and shut things down, and it was amazing. We had 5,600 seats with butts in them, and it was sold out. We had to turn people away, and it was a 2 night deal. That was on Saturday, about half sold out on Friday. But now here we are already selling tickets. Eventbrite is our station that we're using for ticket access, and they've been great, and people have been able to get on there and purchase their tickets at eventbrite.com. Um, and they've been doing it. So I'm thankful for that. They've not been waiting till last minute to show up and buy their tickets. It kind of makes a person nervous. We like to see tickets being sold prior, but yeah, it's a little nerve wracking. Also, that they're trying to set up a deal for no gatherings over 10, and all these big functions being shut down until the 19th in Tennessee. Our event is the 22nd and 23rd. So
Hmm
we're planning to have this event and hoping they do not shut this down. So if the governor's listening, please don't shut this event down.
I mean, we need bull ridings to go on. Everybody needs it in the sport.
Yeah, if they, I mean, and if you think about it, I mean, you got a lot of different people that make a living off of this, and you got all these animals out there, these bovine athletes. I mean, they they have to be able to pay their way. If they're not bucking, then they're not. I mean, they're still eating, but they're just tearing into your pocket at that point. So I mean, it costs a lot of money to take care of that. The bulls, and then the stuff, the buck and shoots. That guy, he leases his buck and shoots out. That's not his main job, but that's extra income for him every year to be able to do that. And the arena, that the city, they have a lot of people come in, and the taxes that they pay while they're in the city, that goes back to the community. And all in all, it's a great thing for the community to be able to get together and do every year. They look forward to it. So let's let's just be smart about it, right? Instead of shutting it down, let's just be smart. Let's work, take the
Hmm
precautions that they're recommending, and I think it'll be fine. After Thanksgiving, we had a big spike in COVID, and then I think they were expecting the same after Christmas and after New Year's get-togethers and all that. So that leaves you a couple weeks there, 2.5 weeks roughly to get it out of your system, and then hopefully, all the people that caught it will have the antibodies and there won't be no issues. But there was people lined up getting that
Hmm.
vaccine. I guess my wife, she works at the hospital, and
Hmm.
she says that they were lined up around that place this morning getting that vaccine. Lined up around the hospital twice. Are
Jeez.
are you gonna get it?
Um, I mean, I don't know. Like it's like sketchy, but yet also they're still saying it could be a promising like end, but I don't know.
Also, I don't think I'm gonna do it because they said that the COVID has morphed and now there's another strand, and so
Yeah,
I don't think I want to get a vaccine that's not going to cover it all.
yeah. All right. So in that last part about your event, you did like you did say like it is like a laid back atmosphere. I have one question that's kind of related to like having fun in the arena. Who was it that came up with you doing the get up after every ride you make?
Well, if you go back far enough on PBR Instagram page, you'll notice that they posted a video of me and Lloyd Mister. This would have been from 2019, the summer, and I was in Canada. Just so happened to be, I knew the song because they had sent me a deal on my phone, and it was a link showing me how to dance to it, and that it was the Get Up Challenge. Well, I was actually joking with my wife, and I said, "Watch, if I ever do this, they're gonna start naming the dance after me." I was just joking, and turns out there was two guys she was trying to get to do the dance because it was over the intercom at that bull riding, and they would not do it. And I said, "Yo, Jen, I got you." And she looked over there, and I started doing it, and she started video. Next thing I know, before the bull riding was over, I had like 100 all these notifications on my phone, and I got on there and I looked, and it was me doing the get up, and they calling it the Nance dance or something. So after that, everybody wanted me to do it, and then all I noticed I'd meet kids everywhere, and you gonna do the dance after you ride, and they just started looking forward to it. So I haven't been able to do it in a while. I need to do it again. I reckon maybe I'll break it down in Ocala if I get to go there.
That would be funny. I remember the first time I saw it in an event and I just cracked up. I was like I was kind of like just balling over. Um, so and that also in the last part, like before that question, you did bring up how COVID is affecting your event. Um, so with COVID, what does it mean to you for the PBR to be putting on these events in the midst of this pandemic?
Well, I think it's great that PBR put on the events, and they'd take the extra steps and the extra precautions, and it takes a lot to be able to produce an event as it is, but then you have all these additives and it's just a mess. But thankfully they're still producing events where us guys can go and make a living, and the workers, the ones that they produce, they put up the steel, they put up the hardware for sound, the TV replays. Them guys, it's nice that an organization will keep that many people still working during this time. So we're very blessed.
So also with pandemic hitting, Sean Gleason came up with the idea of the Monster Energy Team Challenge. What was it like? What was it like in the team challenge? Was it any different than the Global Cup, or did it feel the same, or do you just go in as it's another bull riding?
It was similar to the Global Cup. It had same feel to it because everybody was on the same page. It's different when you put on that red, black, and blue jersey and you're competing for your country, but you still step up to the plate and ride for the team. So that's a lot of fun.
So also speaking of the Global Cup, what is it like competing for your country? Like, does that put a lot of added pressure on you? Do you go in with the same mindset as a normal bull riding, or like what goes in your mind with that?
I think when you put on a jersey with your country's colors on it, you all of a sudden become 20 to 30, maybe 40% better, you know, because your mind is so strong and bull riding is so strong. It's such a mental game, you know. When I think I've seen probably 40% better, riding at at a teamed event, just as a teamed event alone. I feel like people do better because they don't want to let their neighbor down, their partners. And it's all on
Hmm.
our back when it's just us, but it doesn't make it that much less. It just makes it that much more whenever you are on a team.
So back in 2019, when the last year you were on the Global Cup, when you did make that one ride on one accord in McCoy's Bulls on Sunday afternoon to tie up with Brazil, like what kind of feeling is that knowing that you're close to getting your country to winning an event?
Well, we needed that one ride to get us the picks that we needed there at the end. I felt I felt like it was a ton of weight lifted off our team, and I'm just thankful that I was able to hang on, not let go.
Yeah, because every time I rewatch that, I mean, like just seeing like that ride and the effort you put into that, and for it being an event that you're riding for your country, that's just like chilling to watch.
Yeah, it definitely did change the atmosphere at that moment. I watch back at the video and it just gives me chill bumps. Um, I bucked off one the night before and it bit me pretty hard. I was I was pretty upset about it, and I had my camper. I stayed in a campground. I ran that night, and just I was fully determined when I showed up that day that failure was not an option. We were going to do whatever we could to win, and we all showed up that day ready. We didn't end up winning there at the end. It kind of bummed me out. I wanted to ride again. If they'd let me ride again, I think we might have been able to win because I don't think they'd let me off that day.
Hmm.
But that's how the cards folded.
I mean, that was an awesome back and forth battle between the Team USA Eagles and Brazil. I still remember watching that live, and I'm just like wanted to like just jump at the TV or something.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense game.
Hmm. So, kind of stay on the same topic as the Globe Cup. Also, you competed in the one in Sydney, Australia, right? Is
That is
there is
right.
there is there any difference kind of between the Bulls here in North America compared to the Bulls down in Australia?
Um, they buck a little bit different and they're built a little bit different, but the rest of it's the same. Yeah.
All right, so kind of backtrack to when you won in Madison Square Garden back in 2012. I remember the one night when Pistol Robinson got wrecked out. Um, what does that mean, knowing that you just see a friend get just wrecked out and then go back and win it after seeing that? Like, what goes through your head when that happens?
Well, you don't have time to think about. Well, you don't make time to think about what happened to somebody else when it comes to comparison to what your job is, asking you to do. And, you got to go out there and compete either way. That's beside the point. You just hope that your buddy's all right, and then you go do your job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was a cool win there at Madison Square Garden. Man, I was sure thankful for that. I needed that. That was cool. That was one of my biggest, I think, one of my coolest wins ever. Just
Mm-hmm.
be at Madison Square Garden. That's a cool little venue.
Yeah, that is. I've been there twice, back in 2016, and then this year, as you had brought up, you just feel the history of that building when just walking in there, like just something special.
Yeah, it is a special place.
So, do you ever like let anything like about a place like kind of like get to you at all? Like if you like walking into like the Staples Center or AT&T Stadium, does anything like kind of like amp up you a little bit going in, or is it just still going in like it's a normal bull riding, no matter what venue it is?
I'm always pretty well amped up when I show up to an event. Uh, I got a pretty big motor, and for me, it's trying to stay calm. I get really excited.
So speaking of getting excited, what is it like being around Chase Outlaw, like when he starts getting his motor running?
Do what now?
Like, what's it like being around Chase Outlaw, like when he starts getting his motor running? Like, does it want to make you equal that, or can you even equal that?
That guy, he gets crazy. He just he gets all fired up. He gets everybody all fired up. But no, he's actually fired up in his own little way and calm. I think uh, some of the guys they need that. Need somebody to be fired up around them. So I think it kind of brings them up a level. But for me, I like his energy, but I stay a little more calm because I literally get really fired up. So I have to try to stay
Mhm.
calm. My heart be pounding like boom, 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 boom. Crazy.
So speaking of like your heart pounding, whenever you're getting ready, like, do you ever have nerves on the back of the chutes and then it settles down once you're getting prepped in the chute, or like what goes through you when you're about to get on the bull?
Remember everything you done prior, leading up to it. Don't waste it. Make it worth your time and go have fun. The work's already been done. Go enjoy it.
Right. So not only I did bring up Chase Outlaw, who was the one guy before you had, came into the PBR? Who was the one guy that you had looked up to in the sport?
I always liked Michael Gaffney, the G man. He was cool, and the guy could ride too. And since I met him, I look up to him even more now. He's even better than I thought. As a person,
Hmm.
not only a great bull rider, but a great guy.
So you did bring up G Man. I remember watching back. I actually had the whole DVD set of the 2009 World Finals. Um, what what was it like winning what was it like winning Rookie of the Year in 2009? Do you think that's going to mean as much as a world title, or
No, it's quite an accomplishment, I think, but it's not the world title that
Mhm.
you know, everybody dreams of. But one of the coolest, talking about my rookie year, and G was announcing one night, and I got on a bull called Bird Creek of Jeff Robinson. I think I was like 91 or something like that on him, and he was away from my hand, and Michael Gaffney announcing on the TV, and he was like, "That's how you ride rank bulls right there," and I thought that was awesome. I was a rookie, and here my hero was talking about me. uh, I thought I was like, "Dang, it don't get much better than that." But
Do you ever still have those moments like when you like watch back on the broadcast and you just like laugh at something that they say about you or something?
yeah, they're all the time just finding things to talk about. Yeah, and tell them what they come up with.
All right, so I do want to move into something that kind of like a little deeper down. So 2019, back at the Denver Stock Show, we all lost Mace Low in Iraq. How special of a moment for you was it winning the night after he had passed?
Um, well, that's one of those prestige events that everybody wants to win. Um, Mason, he was trying everything he had that night, and he came down a little early, and the bull came down on top of him, and we were all at the hospital that night. Whenever they made the call, and uh, I don't think any of us probably slept very much that night. For that next day, it was kind of like a fog. It just didn't seem real, and then we showed up that night, and I don't know. I guess I just it's just my weekend, but it didn't
I
make
mean,
didn't make it didn't make it any the situation any better. I tell you that.
mhm. I mean, yeah, like even me, like being states away, even though I never got to meet Mason, like that was just like a moment where like you just hit, like it just hits hard, no matter what, even if you didn't meet him or not, because he was just watching his interviews, he was a good guy, and just seeing you win the event right after, like that made me kind of teary eyed after that. That's just such a special moment.
Yeah, we've done a lot of PR together over the years, and he's quite comical. He was a fun guy to be around, and he'll he'll live on the hearts of and hearts of all of us bull riders for a long time.
I mean, yeah, that was something great at like last year when they had the Mason Low scholarship and the Mason like in the Mason Low award. It's so nice that they're still involving him in the sport and that he's still going to be involved in the sport for years to come.
Yeah, it's amazing the brotherhood and the family closeness that you have in this Western world. Very tight knitted group. It's nice to have
Mm.
everybody have your back.
So going through social medias, there's people that say um, the Bulls aren't like the Bulls are being abused and blah blah blah, tons of bull crap. With you being there week in and week out, what can you say about how these bulls are treated? Like how great they are treated.
Well, there are a lot of misunderstandings about how the bulls are treated, and it's sad because uh, the bulls, yeah, they didn't ask for this job. However, they don't have to do the job.
Like if they were to buck bad in the practice pen, they wouldn't buck them at all.
Yeah, if they're not gonna do it, they're not gonna do it. If they're gonna buck, then they're gonna take them and they're gonna use them. But if they don't want to buck, then they go the same place every other beef cattle goes. Every other, like Angus bull or and bring, when they go to hamburgers and so, if you want to talk about animal abuse or cruelty or whatever, First off, make sure you're not eating hamburgers. Second off, uh, if you don't buck, don't eat him because you guess you're just wasting. But I don't know what do you think about it? Because what are you going to do with a bull that don't buck?
Mm. Unless you're just gonna unless it's for some reason got bloodlines of a good bull and he just doesn't buck and use that, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could, but there's so many bloodlines out there these days that
Mm-hmm.
why would you use the bloodlines of a bull that doesn't buck?
Mm-hmm. The bull business now compared to when the PBR first started, in my opinion, is just so much better. Because I was talking about this with somebody else, Devon Weaver, and we had mentioned that you could be 90 on about almost in any round now.
Yeah, it's amazing the bull quality and what it takes to be able to make it at the PBR level for the bulls and the riders,
Mm-hmm.
really. But yeah, I can definitely see where some people can get the wrong understanding about the bulls, but the flank rope that goes on the back is just a soft cotton rope that ties on them just like a belt. We wear a belt just around our waist. It doesn't hurt. There's no spikes in that flank. There's nothing um, electrocuting him or anything in there. Um, he just does it by his own will. And the flank is basically an indicator that, it's time to buck. And they teach them that with the flank. It kind of gives them something, when they kick, it loosens it up a little bit. It's not real tight either. So, if you put it real tight, they won't buck. Um, it's just each one are different and how they like it. But eventually, after a while, it becomes literally an indicator that it's time to buck. And there's bulls that I've heard about, they stand right there at the end of the driveway and just bawl because they're not on the trailer going to the bull ride,
Mm-hmm.
so
I remember hearing when Julie Moreno first retired Bushwhacker. I remember hearing something like Bushwhacker tried knocking down the fence just to get on the trailer again.
yeah, yeah. Backer, he loved going. A lot of them old bulls did. So, yeah, they get to retire and be old and die happy in the pasture. So I mean, what else can a bull ask for?
Mm-hmm. And like heck, they got like seeing like how much like if a bull is to get hurt, how much they have to rehab them now is incredible. Like like they have the pools now
Hmm.
and like and like whatever like the vibration kind of like thing is that they put on their hip.
Oh, the electronic deal,
Yeah.
electrotherapy type stuff. It's like a big
Mhm.
tease unit. Yeah.
All right. So I did have somebody ask me before they started, and it is a good question. What is your favorite what is your favorite memory in your career?
Mm, probably my favorite memory in my career.
Gotta
Uh,
think about that one.
yeah, I got so many memories traveling around everywhere. Um, I got to win the Ty Murray Invitational, and I was with and had my little boy right there with me, and that was exciting. He and my wife were with me, and um, he was just so excited. He was over there twirling his rope and all excited, and I run over there and I high fived him, and that was a fun memory. Uh, but I got lots of cool memories. It's hard to really pin one down.
So you did bring up the Tom Murray invitation. What was it like competing in the Beast Pit? Like knowing that it's packed every night, and like it's just so loud in there. What is it like in there?
It's really loud in there compared to other venues. The place was set up back in the day for concerts, and it was designed down in the ground to where everybody could hear the music evenly. in the place, right? So
Mhm.
they didn't need the speakers and all that, the way it's set up. But I think for that reason probably, and because the people in Albuquerque love bull riding so much, it's so loud. If you make a good bull ride in there, it just enhances the energy levels immensely.
But one thing that's kind of funny though that I just like hear like every time on a broadcast is when they just talk about that long walk on those staircases.
Oh man, that's a long walk up them staircases, and the altitude. It's a little higher than where I'm from. So yeah, I try not to make that trip too many times.
Mhm. So also like kind of stay on the same topic. Whenever you do get a good like to these places like the pit or like your home state event in Nashville, was it like in Nashville like competing there and also everything around it like kind of the country music um like atmosphere, what was it like?
It's pretty cool. The Nashville scene is so like mm, kind of like turning hip hop country now.
Hmm.
No, I don't know. The new country is way different than the old country. It's not even like real
Oh
country.
yeah, no. I mean, if somebody comes up to me and says Dan and Shay's country, I instantly go to wanting to like. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't make me do that.
I'd
um,
probably I'd probably rather want to take a stomping than be forced to listen to Dan and Shay.
well, wait till you get married, buddy. Your wife has control of the radio sometimes, and you just got to bear down.
I mean, as long as there's like nothing that's like the bromance country that started in 2013, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that was okay.
Um.
I'm not into the hip hop stuff anyway, though. Just not my thing. I like the older country better.
Mhm. So speaking of that, like who's one guy who's one artist that you'd listen to like
Like,
all the time?
mm, I'd listen to like Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard and any of them old hands like that. Johnny Cash, and then I listened to some newer Christian contemporary music, and I listen to rock. I listen to all kinds of stuff, but I don't like sappy blues. I like the good vibes only type stuff. You know what I mean? Upbeat, happy,
Mm.
feel good music. That's what I'm about. Keep them positive vibes rolling.
I mean, yeah, which you can tell by that because you're always a positive person. th- With what I've gotten to see and hear of you.
Well, I try to be.
Um. So. uh, all right. So a little bit ago, I did bring up the question of who you looked up to in the sport before you started. Who's one guy now that you kind of like look like kind of like look up to, like guys like you want to match this guy, like not like match him for like what you
Uh,
do on a bull, but like match him for what you want to chase.
yeah, I mean, you got a Jose, man. That guy's a rock. He's
Mm,
he can ride. Seems like he can ride anything, and he's got a really good head on his shoulders, and just seems like a really just well-rounded star athlete. I think real good guy for guys to look up to. Somebody I've learned a lot from myself.
um. So speaking of Jose and like with him winning the title, I know back in 2018 for a good part of the year you were in the talk of the world title race. Do you ever let that get in your head that like you're in the hunt for a world title, or do you still have to like block that out and just know that you're in the regular bull riding?
Yeah, it's one of those things you just got to block it out and take it a bull at a time. If you sit there and dwell on what could be, what can be, then you're not focused on what is, here and now. Not a good place to
All right,
be.
so all right, so one one question before we get ready to get off of here because I don't want to keep you for that long. Um, what legacy do you want to leave behind in the sport when you're done?
Well, yeah, I just want my kids to look back and say, "Man, Dad tried hard, and he uh he was a good bull rider. He was a great athlete because he worked hard and he believed and trusted God, and he treated people right. That's all you can ask for."
So one more question. Speaking of that, um, what is it like bringing your kids to these events and um, for them getting to watch you compete? What does it mean to you just getting to see that happen?
For my kids to get to see me ride still is a blessing. I mean, my kids are 9, 8, and 5, and I'm still doing this thing and still doing it on a big platform, on a big level. And for me, uh, it's like one of the coolest things because it shows my kids that they can do it too. You know what I mean? And so when I'm in front of them, I have that much extra confidence because I'm showing them, look, I can do this and you can do whatever you want to do. Go live your dreams, you know? So just want to inspire
So
the
when you
nation.
did first have,
Sorry.
oh, sorry. Um, so what? Yeah, when your kids were first born, was it ever hard to leave home at first?
Oh, yeah. It's always hard leaving your family. It's a demanding sport. And uh, realistically, you never know if you're going to return home. So you want to make the most out of every time you get to see your family, and sure makes you feel thankful when you do return home.
All right, so one more question, and then I'll let you go for the night. Um, what is three things that you can think of that you want somebody to go off this with?
To do what?
Like what would be three things that you would tell somebody to accomplish what they want to accomplish in life?
What's the three things I'd tell them to do that?
Yeah.
Well, hard work, um, lots of prayer and dedication into that. And because that's, the Lord's going to help direct your steps and direct your path if you trust Him. And the Bible says to do everything unto Him. So, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it for His glory. So I would say work hard, love, just put God first in the middle of everything. Like imagine a wheel, and you got spokes coming off of it, and all those spokes are, they're attached to the part that keeps it, keeps it going round. The hub is like Jesus, to me, right there in the middle. He's the one that holds it all together for me. So I stay prayed up and stay focused, and he's my reason why. And don't ever forget, love what you do, because when you love what you do, you'll do what it takes. So,
That's great. Thank you for coming on, man. I really do appreciate it for coming on.
yeah, man. Appreciate you. Good to see you. And
Yeah, thank you for. Okay,
we'll
see
talk.
you.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too.
God bless you, man. We'll talk later.
Yep.
See you. Bye.